The wealthy leave clues.
Today we're going to talk about some of the most important and useful lessons I've learned in my 30-plus year career working with high net worth individuals. Hi, I'm Mark McKay.
And I'm Marcy McKay.
And welcome to Sage Smart Solutions. Please like and subscribe and join us each week as we talk about new and exciting ways to protect your assets and retire tax-free.
I didn't make the noise. Bing!
Being like and subscribe. So the wealthy leave clues.
What is that?
What kind
mean?
of clues are the wealthy leaving? You know, I remember the first time I heard that, I thought, yeah, that's kind of a...
Oh,
that
makes
they do,
sense.
because I remember having been trained with the traditional brokerages. You know, this is how we do it. You get the guy in, you take his risk tolerances, you find his age, you know, which
it was totally a formula.
And there would be different versions on that, but
cookie cutter.
It was really
pretty much everyone.
Just, you know, which paint package did you want in chrome finish? But then I started partnering with CPAs and an estate planning attorney and a CPA firm. And I'd sit down with these guys who, you know, the kind of guys that were coming in from their ranch to a helicopter to a jet to Amarillo, Texas. And
they were brilliant.
And you know, but very unassuming. You wouldn't notice that. You know, you see the guys at the country club talking around after the round of golf about how they made 17% on their Dewey Cheatham and house stock last year. But, you know, these are the kind of guys that, you know, maybe are driving the nicer F-250, but maybe not. Right. You know, maybe they're driving the 12-year-old one.
But you can learn from both.
But I'd sit down and they're like, oh, yeah, we did a premium finance leveraged buyout with da-da-da. And I'm like, Bob from down the street can do that. But
the wealthy leave clues.
The wealthy leaves clue, and one of the first clues, most important clues I learned is how to utilize safe leverage. What do we mean by safe leverage?
The opposite of safe leverage is risky leverage.
We're not talking about risky leverage, because risky leverage, a lot of people have a negative connotation with the word leverage, and for good reason. Leverage is a lot of what caused the financial crisis of 2008. You had some, you know, everybody thought mortgages, well, it's backed by a house. What can go wrong? Well, if you make up this part of it and then you leverage it 40-1, and then somebody realizes you made up this part of it, the whole thing is going to crumble. So leverage can exacerbate. You know, if you put money into a depreciating asset, you do not want to use leverage.
Right.
If you put money into an asset that can go down, you do not want to use leverage unless it's purely speculative. I'm talking about if I had an account, if I say, Marcy, any money you loan me, I will pay you 6%.
Okay.
And over here, Susie says, Marcy, I've got all this money. I will loan you all you want at 3%.
Okay. I want as much as I can for as long as I can.
So you're going to loan me all you can get your hands on, because I'm going to pay you 6%.
Right.
So if you put $100,000 with me and I pay you 6%.
Okay.
And then you borrow $100,000 from Susie and I pay you 6% on that, but then you have to pay Susie back 3%. You made $9,000 on your investment.
Right. That's safe leverage.
That's safe leverage. You weren't in a 9% investment, but because we were able to use OPC, other people's capital, we borrowed money from Susie at 3%. We loaned it to Mark at 6%. That is safe leverage. And right. You know, the one thing I noticed is that it's a lot easier to borrow money when you don't need it.
Yeah.
So point. That's why some of these strategies that we have are so powerful, because they allow you to borrow money like the very wealthy, because what we use for a lot of our strategies is a tier 1 asset. That is what they are putting up for collateral. So we get these great interest rates. So I don't want to go too much into the weeds. We will
number
talk
one,
about that.
Safe leverage.
Safe leverage.
Number 2, talk to me about taxes.
They control taxes, whether that's cost segregation, so they maximize, and I'm not going to give tax advice, or, you know, we've dealt with a number of different industries, from, you know, small calf cow operations to multi-section wheat farms to
multimillionaires. I mean,
well, most of those guys are multimillionaire, but businesses with multi-million-dollar revenue streams.
Right. And everyone in between.
So they do whatever they can to minimize taxes. Now that doesn't mean defer taxes.
Right.
That's common thinking.
Right.
Oh, well, let's defer taxes because you get that triple compounding.
Well, that's what Wall Street says.
That's what Wall Street wants. So either one, they're not going to grow your assets enough, because if they're going to grow your assets, why not go ahead and pay the taxes on them now? Well, because then you lose the growth power. What if we have a way around that? Reach out to me and I'll
Wall
show you
Street.
how. So
we're on to you.
They control their taxes, and I learned all sorts of things, whether it had to do with R&D credits or cost segregation for depreciation, intangible drilling costs. There are just different ways to really reduce taxes. But one of the ways that I realized a lot of these guys were doing it was by using whole life insurance. They've got these big policies or a pool of policies, or they have an LLC that owns policies, or their business owns policies. And then when they have an opportunity arises, they can go access that money without there being a taxable event, without having to time the market to get you. That was just something that when I realized that they were, one, they had that liquidity, but two, and I kind of had a B section of my second lesson there, but they just didn't willy-nilly say, okay, let's pay whatever the taxes are. They planned ahead. So when they worked with tax professionals, they weren't just working with tax preparers. They were working with people who helped them come up with strategies to, and a lot of doctors that we learned a lot of lessons from over the years. Doctors and engineers can be very analytical, and when we put together these strategies, they've done the due diligence.
Absolutely. So I think with the wealthy leaving clues, we've covered safe leverage, not risky leverage, and the wealthy know how to control taxes.
I want to make one more point on the taxes.
You may do that.
If I said, Marcy, I am going to loan you $1 million.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tell you how much you have to pay me back, what the interest rate's going to be. You go use the money for 10, 20 years, and then I'm going to come and say, okay, this is how much you have to pay me, and this is the taxes on it.
Well, I don't like that. With you not telling me, with you not filling in the blanks, that makes me feel very uncomfortable.
That is what you have done with your 401k, your IRA, your tax deferred account. You have let, granted, those guys in Washington, I'm sure, have your best interest in heart when they come up with these policies and how they're going to tax your retirement account. So, and when you do that, you pull your money out of your tax deferred accounts. A lot of times it's going to make your Social Security taxable. So they really, they double whammy you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway, please like and subscribe. Share this video with people that want to make money and protect their assets and retire tax free also.
We hope this has been helpful.
Have a great week.
Day.